Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create an amazing cinematic for your game. This is actually going to be based on my game that we're looking at right here, using the characters from my game. We're going to be using an art generation, video generation, and even music generation. This is an amazing workflow that creates some pretty awesome results relatively painlessly. So let's jump into it. I'm going to be showing you an actual cinematic that I generated up using these techniques so you can get a taste for what you're going to be able to accomplish. And then we will jump into the how to do it, the bit of the tutorial part. Okay, let's take a look at the cinematic. Here we go. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to be using OpenArt for our image generation. OpenArt's great because it gives you access to basically every image generation model. That is Nano Banana, Seedream, Flux, etc. You got all access to everything through OpenArt. For video generation, we're going to be using Kling. Kling is the best. It is just the best. It's the best video generation, most affordable, and it does a great job. Also does sound effects. We'll get into that. For music generation, we're going to be using Sunno. Sunno is phenomenal, especially since they dropped version 5. The prompt adherence is amazing, but we're going to get into all of this in just a minute. And lastly, I'm going to be using CapCut for my video editing. CapCut's great because it has a ton of built-in effects like scene transitions, special effects, and that sort of stuff, which I'm going to be using a little bit of. Links to everything will, of course, be in the description of this video. Now, the first thing that I needed to do was get a character reference for my video generation. So what I actually did is I just went into Unreal Engine, captured a screenshot, and then heading back over into OpenArt, I'm going to actually use what I found is actually pretty good for dramatic images is the Flux Context Max model. For prompt adherence, Nano Banana is going to be our go-to, but for the initial image generation, I was liking how Flux Context Max was working. So I'm going to grab my character screenshot and upload it to the Omni reference area. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, so what I'm going to say here is specifically use this character. Use this character. That's an important thing to specify that you want to use the character from your Omni reference in a cinematic image of Space Marine on Mars. The character's on one-legged, kneeling sort of position. Let's see what we get here. And I'm using Flux Context Max for this initial go. The nice thing about OpenArt is you can actually switch models kind of on the fly, and you can run the same prompts through different models and see which one comes out best. Seed Dream's good, Nano Banana's good, Flux Context Max is good, but a lot of them have their strengths and their weaknesses. So I'm actually going to do basically all three and see what we get here. So here are some of the initial results from Flux Context Max. So we did indeed get a pretty dramatic shot of our Space Marine that looks pretty good there. I like the artistry, like the cinematic artistry of Flux Context Max, and it did adhere our character decently well. Not every image came out perfectly, but that one's pretty solid, and that one's pretty solid, that one's pretty solid. Nano Banana is great at context, so it'll keep the adherence of your character. Well, am I speaking too soon here? I almost feel like, yeah, like I say, in this case, Nano Banana, Flux Context Max looks like it did a better job, right? And then we have Seed Dream over here, which of course created a different art style as well compared to the other ones. You always have to generate a bunch when you're generating with AI art, but I think that this one here, actually done by Flux Context Max, was pretty good. So my next step is to head on over to Kling AI. Again, links in the description for everything I'm going to be using. And I'm gonna go ahead and upload my character that I downloaded. So Kling will automatically generate your video in the same resolution as your image, just a handy thing to know. I'm also going to be using Video 2.5 Turbo. Works really well, is a little cheaper than previous models, and actually relatively inexpensive. 5 or 10 seconds are your output options. You can usually just generate one at a time to save credits. But go ahead now, and what we're going to do is describe what happens in this scene. So I might say something like, the dust is blowing, the marine scans the horizon. And then I'm going to go ahead and just click on generate. This will take a couple of minutes. Okay, let's take a look at our results. That's what we told them to do, scan the horizon. Okay, dust is blowing. So now we kind of want to think about what our next scene is going to be. Maybe we see the character from the back, and the character stands up and starts taking a few steps forward. So I'm going to head back into OpenArt, and I'm going to keep our character reference model in this case, and I'm also going to actually use one of the generated images. So we've got two reference images. That'll help with the art style and the character style. And I'm going to say, use this character and show it from the rear or something like that, right? And you can also specify where you want your camera angle. From a camera angle on the ground, looking up, something like that, right? So you can specify what you want the scene to start as. I'm going to go ahead and generate a couple of those up. Just a little side note, I found that auto enhance was adding a little too much enhancement, and I was getting some pretty crazy results, like something that wasn't at all adhering. So if you do enable auto enhance and you start getting weird results like that, maybe disable auto enhance. And usually this is where I switch over to Nano Banana. That's because Nano Banana can keep prompt adherence usually better than Flux Context, although actually those Flux Contexts actually starting to look pretty good there. That's actually our correct character detail. But I've got three Omni references in. I've got the cinematic, the front, and the rear. And what I did is I actually went back into my game and I actually just screen captured a rear shot of my character as well to help train the AI. And there we go. That's actually kind of what I had in mind. So I'm going to download that and bring that back over into Kling for some video generation. So again, I'm going to do the dust is blowing and the character stands up and starts walking forward. Something like that, right? Okay, let's check out our results, and as you'll be able to hear, videos are generated with sound automatically by Kling. So here we go. Character stands up, takes some steps forward. That's basically what we told it to do. Now, obviously, your movie goes on scene by scene as much as you want it to go. I'm going to go no further than this as far as this tutorial goes, but let's now jump over to the musical component of this whole thing. We're going to be using Sunno. Again, links in the description for everything that you're going to need to do videos like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over to the Sunno Create tab. I'm going to be using version 5 as a model, and I'm going to be typing into the style section something like what I want to hear, right? So something like Doom, Mars, Marine, Cowboy Western Showdown vibes, something like that, right? Like you can use real language to kind of describe the musical feel that you want. And then we're going to go and just click on create. Okay, let's give a listen to what we got. Cool. Okay, I like that. Let's go ahead and download that MP3. We'll bring that into our video and let's just sequence everything together, our two scenes. Not very long, but we'll just see what we get, right? It'll look cool. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in scene 1 here, scene 2, and I'm also going to bring in our musical soundtrack. And lastly, I'm actually going to add some of that chromatic effect because that looked pretty cool from the dust on Mars. Let's see, it kind of creates a bit of a heat wave looking effect, which I thought looked really, really quite appropriate. Let's see, make sure everything's scaled correctly. Okay, and let's have a preview and see what we got. And that's about it. Gentlemen and ladies, hope you've enjoyed today's video and have fun creating. I'll see you guys in the next one.